Hello everyone, my name is Matt Martin, and today I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how to select a cigar, cut a cigar, and light a cigar. So what's the first thing we want to do? We want to select our cigar. Now there's a few factors in selecting a cigar, a particular type of cigar. One of those factors could be the time of the day, whether you're smoking in the morning, afternoon, after you've had dinner. Time of day factors into exactly what cigar you are smoking. Another factor could be the amount of time you have to smoke, whether you have several hours allotted to smoke or whether you've only got about 30 minutes to an hour to smoke. Another factor could be why you are smoking. Are you celebrating something? Are you just going to try and chill out and relax for the evening? Or are you going to go do yard work? So those are several factors into actually smoking a cigar. I've got a few of them here in front of me. This one is a short Robusto by Gilberto Oliva. It's a Connecticut wrap cigar. Now, a lighter wrap cigar like this, it's going to give you a little, it's going to be a little kind of mild in the intensity of the smoke, some very smooth, creamy notes. It also will be a short, kind of a 30-minute long burn time. Right here I have a Total Flame Custom, the Bright Line, which is also a Connecticut wrap, so it's going to be a little more on the mild side. Another one that we have is a JFR Corojo, which is going to be a little bit more, and the smoke's going to be a little bit more intense, a little more fuller bodied than the two Connecticut's. This one's a little over 6.5 inches in length, so it's gonna it's what's known as a super Toro. So Toro is usually 6 inches in length by 50 ring gauge. Now the ring gauge here is measured in 1/64 of an inch. So this is 52 64ths of an inch. So the ring gauge is 52 on that one. This Black Label Trading Company Benediction, it's going to have a Habano wrapped cigar. It's going to have a Habano wrapper on it, so it's going to be about the same intensity of smoke as the Corojo. This one's, as you can tell, it's a little smaller in diameter, a little shorter, so it's going to be a little smaller, a little quicker of a burn time. This next one that I have is also Black Label Trading Company. It is a Morphine. Now this one is a little different because, as you can tell, it's really thin. It's known as a Lancero. So it's, it's about 7 inches in length, and it's about 48 ring gauge. So you can tell it's really small. This one is going to have a pretty intense smoke to it. This one's going to be a full-bodied cigar because you can tell, compared to the Black Label Benediction, that it's got a darker wrapper on it. The darker the wrapper, the more intense the smoke or the more full-bodied the cigar is going to be. Now, this next one is a CAO Flathead 660. Now you can tell this one a little bit different than the Morphine, how it's got a square shape to it. This is what is known as a box pressed cigar. As you can tell, all these are circular in shape, where this one, after they wrapped it, put it in a press to get it to wear that shape. This one's also going to be a little bit more of a full-bodied type of smoke, kind of medium to full-bodied type of smoke. And then the last one I'm going to show you by DBL, Dominican Big League Cigars. It's called a Mafu. Now this cigar, this is about 60 ring gauge, and as you can tell, this one's the longest of any of the cigars that I've shown you. This one's going to have the longest burn time on it, and this one's got a Maduro wrapper on it, which means it's going to be a little bit kind of medium to full bodied, not going to be nearly as intense of a smoke as the Lancero. Reason being is because the Lancero, how little of the little binder and filler that you can see right there, about 70% of the flavors that you get out of a cigar come from the wrapper. So this cigar is going to be a little bit more intense than this cigar. This one's obviously going to burn a lot faster. So the cigar that I am going to demonstrate on will be the Total Flame Custom Brightline. Reason being is because this is one of the cigars that I have always enjoyed smoking. It's very consistent throughout. Now that we have our cigar in hand, there's several ways on how to actually cut this. Now, as you can see, this area right here is called the cap of the cigar. This down here is called the foot of a cigar. This is the part of the cigar you want to cut and where you want to take a draw out of. I've actually got 3 different ways on how to cut the cigar. First one is your standard double edge guillotine cutter that you can just put the cigar in and cut it that way. This particular cutter is pretty much standard throughout the entire cigar industry. They can range from anywhere between $4 and well, upwards of 50, depending on who produced it. Another type of cut is what is known as the V cut. Now, this particular cutter, if you can tell, it will cut a little bit of a V into the cigar. You can see right there, that's where the blades are that you press down there. It will cut the cigar. What you want to do, most of these V cutters will have a little cradle here in the back to put the cap of the cigar in, and then press down right there. Another way is you can punch the cigar. What that means is I'm demonstrating on this lighter here that it's got cigar punches on it. It's got three different sizes, to where you just punch a little hole in the end of the cap, just like that. So that's 3 different ways of how to cut your cigar. If you don't have any of these items, you can also use a pocket knife, and you just cut just little cut along the top of the cap, and then take the cap off. Now, I'm going to use your standard guillotine cutter. That I have a handful of these at home that I tend to use quite a bit. So, here's how to actually cut a cigar. What you want to do, open up the guillotine cutter, get about 1/8 of an inch or so into the hole, and you want to press it up against one of the blades, and then you want to do a quick cut. And what a quick cut means is just like so. The reason why you want to do a quick cut See, nice straightforward cut there. The reason why you want to do a quick cut is to not tear up the cap of the cigar, and if you wind up tearing up the cap, it could alter the smoke, could alter the taste, it's just gonna alter the quality of the cigar. All right, so now that I've cut, now we're going to go on to lighting preferences. So there's several ways on how to light a cigar. Now that you have a cigar and you have it cut, I showed you this earlier, this is what is known as a torch lighter. As you can see, it's got four jets to it to light the end of the cigar. There's another one. This one is same thing, but triple jet. This one's actually you notice the burners kind of come to a point, give you a little bit more of an accurate burn. These two are kind of the most common. They use butane fuel, and the reason they use butane instead of any other type of lighter fluid out there is because butane is very clean. Butane also is odorless when used in a cigar lighter like this. There's other ways. The more old school style is by using a match. I have a book of matches right here. Basically, what you want to do with these is along the strike line, you want to light it, let it burn a little bit of the wood, and then that's how you would light a cigar with that. There's also what is known as cedar spills, or I like to call them cedar splints, because these particular cigars, or these particular splints here, they most cigar purists tend to use these because these particular splints are just naturally made. They're made from cedar, Spanish cedar is what these in particular are made of. The only problem, I do like using these from time to time. The only problem is they can make a little bit of a mess. Let me show you with the lighter here. They will start to burn, and they burn a lot. They burn a lot slower than matches, so they are a little bit just slightly better than matches on actually lighting your cigar. But as you can see on the end, they tend to ash, and at times they will make a very big mess. So that's the preferences on lighting your cigar. So what are we going to do here? I'm going to use a 4-jet table lighter because I like using these the most. So how do we light a cigar? Well, start off, take your cigar, put it about a 45-degree angle from the burner, and then you don't want to actually put the cigar directly into the flame, because then it's going to get intensely hot, and it will at times it may create kind of an uneven burn. So you want to have it about 2 to 3 inches above the cigar. You want to have about 2 or 3 inches above the lighter, just enough to where, as you can tell, I'm just toasting the outer edges. And the reason I'm toasting the outer edges is because the outer edge, the wrapper and the binder, those are gonna burn not nearly as going to take a little bit longer to burn the binder and the wrapper than it will be the filler. What I can do, I'm going to show you with this lighter as well, is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have it not nearly, about 2-3 inches above, and just get a real good toast on the end of the cigar. And the reason why I toast it is to get a little bit of an even burn on the cigar. So now that the edge of the cigar has that nice ash, a little bit of a glow to it, then we're actually going to take a couple draws. Perfect. So what I just did there is I got the cigar a little closer to the flame, and really went in to light the actual filler. So now take a couple draws. I like to burn on the foot of the cigar just to make sure I have a nice little even burn. Fair warning, the ends of these torches can get hot, so your best bet not to actually touch them. I've done that by accident on several occasions. And so now that I have the cigar lit, now I'm going to do the final step, and that is I'm just going to sit back and relax. At this point, you got the cigar lit. You may have some sort of drink in your hand, water, Coke, tea, some sort of alcoholic drink. Now it's just time to sit back and relax. And that is how you cut and light a cigar. And I hope y'all have had as much fun as I have. Thank you. Goodbye.